In this video, I'm going to show you what an organic content dashboard for $1 million per month info offer looks like. Now, this is a real dashboard, which is why I'm showing it to you in screenshots, because I did have to blur sensitive data. We just finished this dashboard and rolled it into production literally this morning. So I wanted to make a video showing you exactly how I did it, why I did it, what the tracking system looks like. I'm going to go into the N8N backend, the Supabase backend, the V0 front end, how it was deployed, what everything looks like, how everything integrates. And again, the purpose of why you should be using this tracking system if you are not already. So first, I'm just going to get into an overview of what the dashboard looks like. This here is the main kind of screen. And then when you scroll down, you're going to see this screen here. So the main dashboard on top, you can see you have total views, you have total likes, comments, average views. So you have a few of the main metrics, and then you can go and filter that with the calendar by all time. You can filter it by 7, like 30. There's some quick select options there. So everything can be filtered by date range. And then in terms of data, you can see YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok still has to be integrated, but we do have Instagram and YouTube Shorts live. I have Instagram being filtered by Reels and statics. So this is showing Reels data. If you click into it, you'll see static data as well. But this is kind of what the dashboards for platforms look like. So all these cards, these 3 right here, are clickable. You can click into the cards, and then here is what the dashboard looks like. So say you clicked on YouTube Shorts, this is the screen that would come up. You have views per platform, likes, comments, and the total uploads. And then again, you have that same calendar feature that looks like this, where you can go and filter that. So you're gonna have a top performing upload screen in the individual platform dashboards, and then also in the main view. This is the biggest feature and the most important feature for a business that's pumping out this much content. This business is planning on posting at scale upwards of 15 short form videos every day, and they need to know what the top performing videos are so then they can go in and repurpose those and write scripts that are closer to those. So the main view that we're looking at is just the top performing short form. So here you have the video, you have just basic metrics. You can go in and sort by any of these. So you can sort by whatever metric you want, and then you can open the video. And for Instagram, you can actually download the video as well. That feature is going to be rolled out for other platforms as well in the future. Right now, it's just on there for Instagram. So that's a pretty good overview. It's a high level overview, but that's pretty much what the dashboard does. Honestly, it's not super complicated. The whole point of it is to showcase data in the simplest way possible. So you just have the metrics, top performing uploads, sort by platform, and that's what it looks like. So now let's go into the back end of literally what makes this all possible. So the backend is an integration between N8N and Supabase. So Supabase, the table is blurred, but this is just like all the rows that are by this, like these fields. There's a lot more fields in this as well. I can kind of go through what the fields that I'm taking look like, but this is the N8N scraper that does really all of the work of the automation. So this runs daily. It runs at, I think it's like 2 a.m. or 4 a.m. to pull data from all of the reels. So it's pulling not just yesterday's reels, but it's pulling all the data so that we get updated data every single day. And right now we have it scraping 2 paths. So it's scraping the YouTube channel via Google API, and it is scraping Instagram just using an Appify Instagram scraper, because that is the lowest friction way to do it. Could I have gone in and used Graph API through Meta to configure this? Yes, I probably could have. I actually don't even know if Graph API lets you pull view data as accurately as Appify does. But the lowest friction way to do it without me having to go in and create a developer app and stuff on his account is just to use Appify. So that's what we did for this build. So first, I'm going to kind of show you the Instagram branch, and then we'll go into YouTube after. But first thing that happens is you're running an Instagram scraper using the run an Appify actor node, or just run an actor node. And that is going to scrape, I think we have it set to the last 100 reels on his page, and that's scraping 100 reels every single day, 2 a.m. And then we're getting the Instagram data set. So you're basically retrieving all the data. So this one here is just going to actually run the scraper. And then this get Instagram data set node is going to go in and actually like retrieve everything. And then you also need to update the Instagram usage. So obviously you have to keep track of the usage that this automation has. So you're using the Appify to just put the Instagram usage in a Google Sheet. Luckily, this top branch it's pretty much 0 usage. It might be very low. I believe it is 0 actually, but this one is just using Google API. So we're scraping the YouTube channel using Google API. You don't need the client's login. You don't need anything. All you need is the channel name. So this is fully open data. It's public data, and you could scrape it just for any channel. So gonna scrape the YouTube channel using that, format video IDs. So we're basically getting everything from the channel, formatting the video IDs that we need, and then we're scraping the data from the individual videos. And then we're gonna merge these into a merge node. I actually have to connect that to this input. A little mistake there. No big deal. I actually don't think it matters at all, but just for cleanliness purposes. But after the merge node, we just have a code node because right here, like up until this point, we have a massive JSON of data. If you've used N8N, you know that like the output is going to return pages of JSON. There's like 15 or 20 pages of JSON data, at least, that's coming in this output. So we have to code all of that data. So everything from YouTube and Instagram is going right into the input of this code node, the last 100 posts from both. And then actually, I think YouTube might be just scraping everything that's on there. So scrape that, code it in Java, and then we're upserting it in Supabase. So the upsert in Supabase node basically means that if the video ID already exists in Supabase, it's going to update the row. If the video ID doesn't exist, which you can see we have ID right here, if the video ID doesn't exist, it's going to add a new row. So like for a new upload. And then we just have a success and an error branch to send me a Slack message for whether the automation was successful or not. And that's running once per day, every single day. Now in Supabase, I have a simple 2-table structure. There are some SQL scripts in here just to like filter for duplicates and make sure everything's running smoothly. But we have a platforms table where it is a relational field to here where you just have platform ID. And then we have an uploads table, which is the one you're seeing here, which tracks all the uploads. It tracks all the data. So think like views, think comments, think shares. I actually don't think we have shares, but think like likes, basically tracking like all of the data. And then over here, you just have like the name of the post. You have the platform ID, of course, so that you can sort by platform. And then this Supabase table is linked with Vercel, or V0. So V0 is what we use to build this entire front end. It is extremely, extremely powerful. I have another video on the channel on how I go about building things with V0. I built this the exact same way. It's just a little bit more complicated of a build, but V0 through its LLM can create Supabase projects and tables. So that's how I created this, was through the LLM. I actually didn't go into Supabase and ever make a table. I just told V0 to do it. And then you could go in and access it through Supabase, of course, to make changes and add scripts and things. But V0 can do the bulk of like the front load of the work when it's going in and creating the table. So an example of a prompt would just be telling V0, like, I want you to make me a Supabase backend using tables for this. And then it'll ask for a bunch of permissions to run the scripts and actually go into Supabase and configure everything, which just allow the permissions and it's going to go do it for you so that this data will all be linked to Supabase. So that is an overview of what this organic content dashboard for the info offer looks like, what kind of data we're tracking, the reason why we're doing this in the first place, and how everything is built out. If you want this automation right here on how we're actually retrieving all the data, because this is the hardest part of the entire thing, is actually pulling the data, I'm going to be giving this away for free in my free school community, which is the first link in the description. It'll just be a drag and drop JSON template. And then you can just put your channel ID in there and you can put your Instagram handle in there and it will work perfectly just for you.